Hey everyone, my name's Kirsten and I'm an applications engineer here at CAD Micro Solutions. Today I'll be showing you a first look inside the 3D Experience Delmia Prismatic Machining App. The way that I accessed this app was from my taskbar, I selected my 3D Experience launcher. This is going to open up my 3D Experience platform inside my browser. Once I'm inside my platform, I can click my compass in the top left area of my screen, and it's going to open up and show me all the roles that have been assigned to me. If I keep scrolling down, I can see all of the apps that belong to those various roles. If I wanted to add an app to my favorite app space, I could simply select it and drag it inside. If I want to open an app up, all I have to do is click on it. So we'll hop back over into Delmia, and the first thing that we're going to do is bring in a manufacturing part. I'm going to show you the import method, and by importing, we're going to select this plus sign in the upper right corner. The second option down is to import. As you can see, I already have a file selected, and I can see from my source that it's a file on my computer. Alternatively, I could bring a file in from a collaborative space or from my 3D drive. If there were more than one configuration in this part file, which I can see as a Solidworks part file from my format, I could select this arrow here for a different configuration. Once I press OK, Delmia is going to convert the Solidworks part data into geometry that we can use inside Delmia. We have an operation report that shows that our status was successful. Now we can see our object to be machined, and I can see from the top left that I have a PPR context and my part, represented by two separate tabs. Whenever I open up the Delmia Prismatic Machining app, I will be given a new PPR context. In terms of SolidWorks assemblies, you could look at PPR as the top level assembly. Inside that assembly, you're going to have a container where all of your objects that are needed to manufacture this part will exist. So your stock, your part, your machine, your cutting tools, your programming processes as well. Inside of that PPR, you can have one or more manufacturing cells. So if I wanted to machine this part on two separate machines, I'd probably create two separate manufacturing cells. In order to insert a new cell, from that same button in the upper right corner, we want to make sure that we are selecting manufacturing cell. If we don't see manufacturing cell there, it's because it hasn't been saved as a favorite. You could do that by selecting new content, and in the bottom search bar you could type in cell, and once you found your manufacturing cell, you just have to right click and select add to favorites. Now we have a new cell, and we have this prismatic machining wizard that's popped up. This wizard is a very helpful way to guide you through all the necessary steps to get your part ready for programming. All of these commands could also be found from the various tabs that you see at the bottom of your screen. So the first setting here is import product. Once I click it, I am prompted to select or to search for an object. So parts and stock, tools and machines that are saved inside of the platform all become objects, and they're all assigned a unique object prefix. For example, a part file would be saved as a PRD. So if I didn't already have this part imported into Delmia, I could simply search for PRD from this bar up top, and I could find all of the PRD objects inside my content or inside a collaborative space that I share with others. Because we've already imported, we can simply navigate to the Mill 2-axis tab, and we want to select the top object here in the tree in order to identify our part. Now I can see a green check mark beside product inside of my machining wizard, so I know that that step is complete. The next step is resource configuration. So this is where I could import a machine I've already created or vices. I can also create a generic machine on the fly. I'm going to select that option. And inside generic machine, I could have a simple 3-axis machine, or I could choose some other kinematics, like with rotary table, 5-axis, or a mill turn. I'm going to go ahead and press OK to insert this machine for this virtual machine for simulation. Now I can see I have a green check next to resource configuration. The third section is part operation. And the first step is to create my rough stock, so I'll click that button. Here my stock creation wizard has popped up. I have two choices. I can choose an existing part, or I can choose a new part to create. So I'll select that new part, and the first thing I need to do is select the area in which this part is going to be saved. On my left-hand side, I want to make sure that I'm in my manufacturing cell tree. And now I'm going to select my NC assembly. This is where I want my stock product to be saved. In terms of stock type, we can use a WIP, a work in process stock, a bounding box with offsets, an STL, or a maximum turning envelope. So we'll keep option 2. And we need to select our part body that we want that bounding box created around. So inside my graphics area, I'm just going to hover over my part and click. I can see the bounding box appear. And if I wanted to, I could use these rulers on the screen to add variable distances to all the sides of my part. Alternatively, if I wanted to add stock uniformly, I could just update these max values. Once I'm satisfied, I can go ahead and press OK. I don't see a green check mark beside part operation, and that's because there's 1 second step before this section will be complete, and this is edit part operation. So I'll click this button, and here I'll have this interactive box that's going to appear. All of these salmon colored objects I can click and then select. I'm going to start with my rough stock because I need to tell Delmia of the objects I have imported in my cell, what is stock and what is part. So we'll start with stock. Once I click that salmon box, it disappears and I am able to select my part. I'm able to select my stock from my graphics area. To get back to that dialog box, I simply press escape on my keyboard or I double click my screen. Now I can see that rough stock appears green and is set. If I wanted to erase that selection, I could just right click and reset all selections. The next step is to select my design part. So once again, I'll highlight that salmon color and I'll click. Now it can be tricky to differentiate between your stock and your part. So if you want, you can use your action pad to hide your stock. My action pad is currently docked under my Prismatic Machining Wizard, and if I click that box, here I can see options to hide show part and hide show stock. If you can't see your action pad, you need to display it by right-clicking anywhere in your graphics area. From display, select that last option, action pad. I'll click my hide show stock, and this makes selecting my part a lot easier. Once again, I'll double click on my screen. This brings me back to my part operation dialog, and I can see that my rough stock is set and my design part is set. Now I can press OK. And finally, I see that green check in the third section of the machining wizard. This brings us to the end of this tech tip video, but if you found this content helpful, then please stay tuned for some future Delmia machining videos that will be coming your way. Thanks for watching.